A lot of the subjects Louisa is going to talk about, I think, are touched upon already during the day. But Louisa is working for the water board Rijn and IJssel in the Netherlands. And she's the project manager of a project that works with a particular brook, the Baakse Beek. And there's a lot of country estates, and they're doing a whole system approach, trying to see how can you keep your water within the ground. So, Louisa, I would offer the microphone to you. And
Okay, thank you very much. You introduced me, Louisa Remesal, working at the water board of the Rijn and IJssel. And we have a project, Climate Resilient Estates, it's called, in the Baakse Beek. And in the Netherlands, we always had enough water. The water was used to power mills and irrigate the meadows and maintain the level of the canals and the ponds. Because in the years after the Second World War, efforts were made to increase the scale of agriculture, and there was a need for larger plots with a capacity for larger agriculture machines, and land consolidations were organized, waterways were straightened and deepened to drain more water, and agriculture in the Netherlands really flourished. However, in the 1990s, it was noted that many forests and nature reserves were drying out, and also the historical quality was under pressure. And the effect is amplified by the climate change. So that's why we developed a vision for the estate zone Baakse Beek. Next slide, please. Our goals are to increase the resilience of the water system, have a better use of the rainfall surplus, because we have a lot of rain, but we let it flow to the big rivers and the sea. And we want to reduce the effects of extremes, the drought and the extreme rain showers. And the measures we want to take is increase the drainage base, so make the waterways shallower. Create more water storage at ground level, like the forests. We had the brooks also in the forest. And adjusting land use, so the level of the water is more important. And in the past, in the Netherlands, we chose the land use was the most important, and we could the water system whatever you want. If you need pumps, we use pumps. But now the rainfall is not so regular anymore. We have to save water, like on your banking account for the drier periods. And another subject is also, of course, the sustainable use of water. We have a lot of water, but we spoil a lot, and we are also not taking care of the quality. So we are polluting a lot of water, and it's really necessary, if you use water, bring it back clean. The next slide, please. On the left side, you see the Netherlands, and we have 21 water boards, and the water board Rijn and IJssel is on the east side of the Netherlands, near the German border. And there you have a small space, and that's printed on the right side, and that's what we call the estate zone Baakse Beek. And the Baakse Beek is a catchment, a small local catchment with a lot of estates, about 12, and in total is about 3,500 acres in the estates, and in between you have some landowners, some farmers, but most of the area is taken by estates. Next slide, please. And the approach to make a more resilient water system is the water board is the initiator, but we need the enthusiasm of the landowners, the tenants, uh, because they cooperate with the water board voluntarily. And it is because the policy goals, so the finance of this project is the province is buying or is giving us money for the nature network. So that's a map with what tells you what areas are important for nature and to increase the quality. And we have money for the European Water Framework Directive. I think you call it that way. We call it the Kaderrichtlijn Water in the Netherlands. But if you only follow that goals, then you can also you have the waterways. How do you say that? That are already there. You change them, but we choose a bigger goal, and that's why it's voluntarily to work on this process. We try to think big on a really long scale, and also use the history to give us information about possibilities to change the water system. But we started very small, so we made a vision with all the participants in this area, but also with the governments, the local governments, the province, and also the nature organizations and the agriculture organizations. What are our goals for on the long term? But let's start small so we can search for a way how to work. So it's learning by doing, and all the results, we are changing the process to make it better and better and better. And the basis of our process is the water system analysis. So that's where we start. But you can do the next slide. Here you see a map with the ground levels. So the purple levels are the higher levels, and the dark blue levels are the lower levels. And we search for the lower levels in the area because what we want to try to do is what if mankind had no influence on this area, how would the water stream through the area? Yes, the next slide, please. We also use photographs, and here you see a photo in a dry period. And if you look good, you see green lines going through the dry areas, and that's where the water would stream. It's the lowest part of the lowest part. So we try to identify the lowest parts, and we want to restore them to so that the water is going to use those lowest parts again. And then the new waterway we made we are closing it. But then you cannot have the land use cannot only be agriculture anymore. So we want a zone around the waterway that's more natural. Of course, the agricultures can use the land, but not as they do now. So they can use it for as meadow, as grass, and sometimes there's water on it, and sometimes the water leaves. But they have to get used to that again, like it was in earlier days. Okay, and what you see also see here that we go for field work to do the research. Yeah, next slide, please. And then together with the landowners, but also the tenants and the governments, we start to make a new plan. And that's a process. Sometimes it takes a year, sometimes it takes 2 years. But because here you see estate Medler, and Medler has had 200 acres farmland, but 30 acres was changed to nature and forest again, because here you see the new, it's not really a waterway because it's really shallow, because the drainage base is very high, and that means it can store a lot of water, but also the groundwater level is getting up. And that takes a lot of time to also change the land use, because all the farmers, you have to change it, but financially it has to become better for them and not worse. So with all the farmers, we have a lot of talks to puzzle and change the grounds, and also change their, how do you call that, a bedrijfsvoering? The way they
I suppose the management of the farms, or the
yeah, they have to change their management. Yeah, thank you. Okay, the next part. And here you see that is what we did last year. We are really rebuilding the water system. So make a really shallow system through the estate, and close all the big waterways. So that's what. The groundwater level goes up, and we also make more space and room for water, and combine this with new nature. So this is also good for the biodiversity, and we try to the farmers are also managing some of the nature, the new nature that they are how do you say that? Beheren. That's yeah. It doesn't matter. Okay, the next slide, please. And here you see the space we made for the water. Normally, this water would go away very fast in the deep waterways that were there, but now it can go through very slowly, and also higher the groundwater level. So the dry periods can be shortened, and when there's big rainfalls, you don't have to drainage all the water, but you have time. it's like your lungs. So you can have the water, it goes, you can store a lot of water and then it goes out again, and repeat that through the year. Next slide, please. And here's another picture, because that was very nice. After 4 years of really big droughts, after rebuilding this water system, now we are suffering a really wet winter, the wettest in the last 100 years. So it's it was immediately in use, the new system. And this way we hope to build a more climate resilient water system that offers opportunities for improving the historical values, including the ponds and the fountains in the historical gardens, and also the irrigation, because there also the historical research we found that there were also irrigation canals for the, I didn't find the word, but in the pound around the castle, because they also suffer from droughts. So we often have groundwater pumps now to remain the level, but also in history, in dry periods, there wasn't enough water, and they made irrigation systems. So from a higher level, the water was taken through an irrigation canal to the ponds that were around the houses. And we also restored one of those irrigation canals. And another nice thing here is there is the meadows were flooded in the early days to give minerals to the grass. And we are introducing this again, but it stopped because of the manure that we are using now. And a nice thing is that in 1 month ago, this principle of irrigating the meadows is on the UNESCO World Heritage List now. And that's one of the systems that also was used in this area. The next slide, please. These are the 7 locations we are working on now. And this is our schedule, and this is also financed, and we have agreements with all the landowners and all the tenants in this area. And next slide, please. And this is our ambition, but we are still, the political system in the Netherlands is changing, so everything is uncertain. And a lot of people say you have to go on with this project, because in the a couple of years ago, the estate owners, they were doubting if this was the right project, but all the estate owners in this area think this is the right way, and also to make for a more sustainable and certain future for the estates. So we really hope that we can continue for the, I hope, the next 10 years, because it takes a really long period to rebuild the water system. And that's my story, and maybe there's some time for questions.
Thank you very much, Louisa. So it's really also to see that actually our water levels dropped so much after the Second World War, mostly due that we wanted to accommodate more agriculture, and now we want to reverse that process and see and bring back the old cultural heritage and historical use of the different lands. That's really nice to see.
But it's also necessary for the farmers. So
Yes.
yeah, it's necessary for all the land use. This approach.
Okay.
And when we lowered the level with 50 centimeters in the Netherlands, so that's really a big amount of money, and also a big storage that you are missing.
Yeah.
So
we lowered the ground level. You
yeah.
mean so
Yeah.
with so much? Yes.
Yeah.
I see that there are straight away some questions for you before we go back to the other speakers. Francie Cheeseman is asking how these new water systems lined to hold water. Are they lined? Are they, if I understand you correctly, they're allowed to flow over, but do they have clay that makes a layer that keeps the water in, or are they lined in one way or another?
No, over here it's not necessary because these were original brooks. So with so the water is beneath the surface, but we try to level it a little bit up. Only the irrigation systems for the I don't know if you call them pounds, the grachten.
Moats.
Moats. Ah, okay. We made there are irrigation systems for the moats because in the historical, also in the summer periods, there's not enough water, so they could take it from a higher place. There we put clay, and originally there was also clay in it.
Okay, great, thanks. And another question from Francie was, do the tenants and landowners get any compensation for the loss of earnings if they grow less crops?
This project gives them indirectly money because their future is safer this way. And the loss of land for farmers is becoming nature, and there they get money from the province to take care of the nature. And it's so that's really a big amount of money. So it's
It's a
so
balance.
it's a positive. Yeah, it's not financially it's not negative, this project.
Okay, it's good to hear.
Yeah.
I think it should be, it's a big achievement to get so many different players, all those stakeholders all together, and having them to agree that they are willing to participate in a project like this.
Yeah, it takes a few years. So I think with a Landgoed Mettler, it took us 3-4 years to go to the whole process, and now it's a bit fastening up because then a new landowner is coming to look how is it working. So we are a little by little speeding up, but it still takes a lot of time to change. So also the landowners, they have to think about it and feel if it's right, and talk with each other in the family. So it's
It's a
a slow
mentality
process.
change, yeah, and they have to take into account biodiversity, the
With the neighbors, but
populations,
also the
yes.
farmers. If farmers want to change, and they talk to the water board, then I think the neighbors are telling them, "Why are you talking to the water board?" And don't believe them. And these machines are well. So it takes the changes take time, and if a landowner or a tenant understands and sees why it's better for him or her, then they are starting the changing process, and we are working together. But this is also what we want. It has to be their choice. It's not something that we want them to do, and that's the only way that we know this is the right step.